inflatable boats delivered and 150 boats made. These are the numbers that SALPA Shipyard can boast of in the past year alone. In your opinion, can numbers be enough to judge the quality of a construction site? Of course not. That's why I came to the Gulf of Naples today, specifically to Posillipo, to try out the Neapolitan shipyard's newest edition. We're talking about the SALPA SOLEIL 24.5. This is the boat show. The new SALPA SOLEIL 24.5 is the 9th model of the range SALPA SOLEIL, an excellent middle step between the progenitor of the SOLEIL line, the SOLEIL 23, and its big brother, the SOLEIL 26, a true bestseller in its category. The stern platforms are literally huge. They are structural and surround the depth of the engine. In addition to create a very large beach area, this is helpful for disembarking on the quay. The walkable area that covers the engine corrugations is very convenient, as well as this step to easily enter the cockpit. The cockpit is contained within 2 fiberglass structures that embraces a section of the tubulars. This area is characterized by a C-shaped seating that can comfortably host up to 6 people. By lowering the backrest, the first sunbathing area is completed with the central extension. Only flaw, you have to be careful with the mechanics of the backrest. They stick out and you can get hurt. Underneath, 3 lockers, 1 for each bench. They are a great space for organized stowage of all onboard equipment. The second sunbathing area is in the bow, also with a very refined and carefully detailed upholstery. There are even soft cup holders, and the whole fiberglass tip is covered and very soft. Below, the storage volumes have been divided not only for better organisation of space, but also to greatly increase safety by having not 1, but as many as 2 watertight bulkheads separating the bow interior volumes. One here between the chain technical compartment and the first bow locker, the second in this position between the small locker and the main forward locker. The pilot seat module and formwork are off-centre on the longitudinal axis of the inflatable boat. This allows for a single stern-to-bow passageway. It is much wider and smoother than the classic 2 lateral ones. The helm seat module includes a 50-litre drawer refrigerator that opens towards the stern and a stovetop that retracts towards the cushions. The formwork has the classic line we are used to from previous models, very fine at the base to increase livable volumes on board. Thinking about it though, if the weight of the formwork and the seat are off-centre, this can unbalance the boat when sailing and when static, as at this time. How can this problem be solved? Definitely not with the tanks, which in fact are central and below me, because their load during sailing changes, and therefore their effectiveness as counterweights also changes. So how is it done? The engine does a big part of the work. How? Not with its weight, but with the evolution of the propeller, which, being right-handed, balances the boat on its left side when sailing. Then instead, in static phase, as at this moment, SALPA thought of putting the battery pack all on the left side, so that, as you see, we're stable and balanced. What we said about the balance in navigation is all theory. There is only one way to know if they have worked well. Navigate. Among the things I want to test today is not only the issue of lateral balance, but there are also some important details that outline the DNA of the whole SALPA SOLEIL line, namely the vertical stem and the steps on the hull, or rather, the step on the hull. This issue in particular is very hot. The debate is definitely on. Is the step needed or not? That is, however, if we take the step as a point in favour of seeking extreme performance. But can the step serve other purposes as well? For example, can it serve to improve navigability? Well, its internal step shape in the hull creates a depression, which, according to the Neapolitan shipyard, should keep the bow of the boat down in any situation. In the pre-planning situation, it should not pull up the tip, and then also during navigation, especially on the wave, thus allowing the inflatable boat not to surge and make stratospheric bounces. Yes, they are fun, but they are also dangerous. Today, Naples, to its legendary beauty, gave us a perfect test case. A tense wind blowing from southwest is creating a nice, formed, steep, short wave, great for seeing the characteristics of this hull.
Ottima per vedere le caratteristiche di questa carena.
Before we really navigate, I want to tell you about the detail that cannot go unnoticed. The co-pilot also has 2 firm holds on the formwork, 2 steel handrails that make his position very secure. In the meantime, while speaking, we're already up to 20 knots and we're consuming 21 litres per hour. And at the stern we have 250 horsepower by Yamaha. The maximum applicable power, on the other hand, is 350 horsepower. The sea, slightly to the side bow. It is one of the most stressful areas for the boat. However, can you see it? I am comfortable, relaxed, and enjoying my navigation. I was telling you before that I was very intrigued by SALPA's choice to draw, throughout the Soleil line, the vertical stem. This is because, when navigating, the very fine and vertical stem helps to cut through the waves very well and not bounce over them. When veering, one has to be very careful because there is the risk that the stem will get stuck in the wave, cause the bow to swamp, and this could be dangerous, since the central step tends precisely to keep the stem close to the water, even when veering. Okay, enough talk. Let's simply try tacking to starboard and see what happens. Kill cord always buckled. One hand on the throttle and one hand on the wheel. I'm at 20 knots, starting a wide turn because there is a lot of wave. Can you see it?
In
all this, the hull trim is almost always horizontal to the horizon line. And this is good. I want to see if I risk tacking this way though, what happens at the bow? Nothing. This is also helped by the wide beam of the inflatable and the fact that the tubulars, when stationary, touch the water, giving immediate sustenance as soon as the boat comes down on its side. It thus helps to keep everything elevated. I'd say the tack test passed with flying colours. Look at the wonder of Vesuvius behind us. As we said before, SALPA sought features in the hull design that would not go as far as extreme performance. That is not their goal, but rather to try to give anyone who boards these boats the ability to sail in any situation and with very little stress. This is working for me. It is really impressive. Maybe from the camera you can't see it. I'm convinced that television flattens the sea, but there is a lot of waves here. I'm at 30 knots, consumption of 38.7 litres per hour, 3,800 RPM. Well, the shipyard claims that the new SALPA SOLEIL 24.5, coupled with the Yamaha 250 horsepower, can get over 40 knots, easily even. So, today, as always, I have 2 goals, 1 to reach them, 2 to top them. Yes, but in this sea, I'm going to try. Gas all open. Guys, we're flying 42.9 knots, 5,000 RPM. I'm consuming 94 litres per hour.
Non rischiamo.
Let's not risk too much, but I'm doing some sensational bounces here. Hear that?
Ma è incredibile, sto facendo.
It's unbelievable. I'm reaching 46 knots on this sea, 46.4.
Mamma mia! Il mare davanti a me è finito.
The sea in front of me is over. But guys, I reached 46.8 knots.
Nodi, punto 8. Che botta di
What an adrenaline rush. How wonderful is the new SALPA SOLEIL 24.5.
4.5.
Great inflatable boat. Way to go, SALPA.
Ah, stavo dimenticando. In
I
fase
was
di
forgetting, in navigation, the propeller evolution perfectly counterbalanced the shifting of the weights of the formwork and the steering seat. So also for that, great job.